Hi guys, welcome to your week 2 of the Connects You launches, and this one is going to be on taking ownership. So if you're not really sure what it means to take ownership, we're going to be looking at what is the difference between ownership mentality. Ownership mentality would basically be there's no excuses, you're responsible for the things that happen to you for the most part. There's always going to be things that are out of your control, but you're really in control of more than you think. So ownership mentality is no excuses, versus victim mentality when you're 0 to 60, everything's the worst possible situation. It's not your fault, it's always somebody else's, and you're just quick to kind of play the blame game. So signs of a victim mentality would be you're constantly blaming others for you feeling miserable. You possess a life is against me philosophy, so me against the world kind of thing. You're pessimistic. You believe the world is mostly bad instead of trying to find the good that there is in the world. You see your problems as catastrophes and blow them out of proportion. You think others are purposely trying to hurt you. You believe you're the only one being targeted for mistreatment. Even when things go right, you find something to complain about. You feel powerless to change your circumstances. You feel attacked when given constructive criticism. And you believe you're not responsible for what happens in your life. So the common trend is it's a very negative mindset. You kind of don't take responsibility for your actions. You just view it as things happen to you that are out of your control and kind of play the victim in a little pity party. So it is a very natural human thing to want to blame your problems on somebody else. So the purpose of this week's activities is going to be to try to start looking inward, taking ownership of your learning, taking ownership of your life, and kind of regaining that control on the things that you can control. So what you need to do is just stop the complaining, stop the whining, and realize that you are in control. So start owning your life. So things that you can control that you might not realize. So these might be small things, but you are in a lot more control than you believe. So you can control how many times you smile today, how much effort you put into your schoolwork, how well you prepare, how you act on your feelings, your level of honesty, how often you say thank you, how nice you are to yourself in your head, whether you think positive or negative thoughts, how much time you spend worrying, how often you think about your past, how much you enjoy the things you have right now, and how quickly you try again after you fail. So these are all things that you're in control of, trying to be full of gratitude, being honest, acting on your feelings in an appropriate manner. So, for example, you're not really doing well in your math class. Instead of blaming your math teacher for not teaching you well, realize that you're actually capable of learning on your own. And instead of wanting to blame others for a bad test grade, think of what you could have done differently. Okay, so this whole week is to try to take ownership of that. So I want you guys to watch this short clip from the movie Rocky Balboa. If you haven't seen it, it is a good one. But Rocky Balboa's son is basically just blaming everybody but himself for his problems here.
So you nervous about the fight?
They're scared to death.
You don't look scared?
Well, you ain't supposed to.
Then you don't have to do it.
Yeah, well, I think I do.
You know, living with you, it hasn't been easy. People see me, but they think of you. Now with all this going on, this is gonna be worse than ever.
It don't have to be.
No, sure it does.
Why? You got a lot going on, kid.
What, my last name? That's the reason I got a decent job. That's the reason why people deal with me in the first place. Now I start to get a little ahead. I start to get a little something for myself, and this happens. Now I'm asking you as a favor, not to go through with this, okay? This is only gonna end up bad for you, and it's gonna end up bad for me.
You think I'm hurting you?
Yeah, in a way you are.
That's the last thing I ever wanted to do.
I know that's not what you want to do, but that's just the way that it is. Don't you care what people think? Doesn't it bother you that people are making you out to be a joke, and that I'm gonna be included in that? Do you think that's right? Do you?
You ain't gonna believe this. Well, you used to fit right here. I'd hold you up and say to your mother, this kid's gonna be the best kid in the world. This kid's gonna be somebody better than anybody ever knew. And you grew up good and wonderful. It was great just watching you every day was like a privilege. Then the time come for you to be your own man and take on the world, and you did. But somewhere along the line, You changed. You stopped being you. You let people stick a finger in your face and tell you you're no good. And when things got hard, you started to push the blame, like a big shadow. Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, now go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you wanna be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't you. You better do better than that. I'm always gonna love you no matter what. No matter what happens. You're my son, you're my blood. You're the best thing in my life. But until you start believing in yourself, you ain't gonna have a life. Don't forget to visit your mother.
Okay, so that one right there is a pretty good example of the rant that he went on, just blaming everybody. But if you notice, he never once mentioned himself in any of his decisions that have affected his life. It was his dad, his mom, everybody else. And he turned that into a big pity party. And then, of course, his dad, Rocky Balboa, put him in his place pretty good. So what I want you guys to do this week is in a private comment, you're going to answer the following question. I want you guys to think about who or what do you tend to blame when things go wrong in your life. So again, it's a very natural thing. So you're not wrong for doing that. It's just you have to start making a more genuine, concentrated effort to think otherwise and change your mindset and quit blaming and take responsibility. So think of the people and the situations and the circumstances that you tend to blame for your current situation in life or whenever things go wrong in your life.